usia sultan. Please be seated. Ini amat berhormat Datuk Seri Sarani Muhammad, Menteri Besar Perak, Yang berhormat Puan Loh Zeyi, Perak State Exco of Tourism, Industry, Investment and Corridor Development. Yang berhormat Puan Sivanisan Achalinggam, Perak State Exco of Human Resources, Health, National Unity and Indian Community Affairs. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahbub, Chairman of Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA. Yang berbahagia Datuk Arham Abdul Rahman, Chief Executive Officer of MIDA. Yang berusaha Puan Hajah Halizah Sipun, Director of Perak State Economy Planning Unit, Head of State and Federal Government Department and Agencies, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Salam Perak Sejahtera 2030 and Salam Malaysia Madani. My name is Amir and I will be your MC taking you through all of today's program. We are honored to have each and every one of you here today. On behalf of MIDA and the Perak State Government, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the MIDA Invest Series Perak with the theme Unfolding Its Business Potential. This event is jointly organized by MIDA and the Perak State Government with the objective to share the business facilities available as well as updating the latest development and investment opportunities in Perak. Ladies and gentlemen, to start the event, I would like to invite Encik Muhammad Adham Muhammad to recite the doa. Silakan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا حامدين حمدا شاكرين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد طه الأمين وعلى آله وصحابته الطيبين. Allahumma ya akramal akramin, kami memohon kehadratmu ya Allah agar engkau memberkati majlis kami pada pagi yang mulia ini, yaitu majlis MIDA Invest Series Perak Unfolding its Business Potentials, anjuran Lembaga Pembangunan Pelaburan Malaysia MIDA dengan kerjasama Kerajaan Negeri Perak. Engkau jadikanlah majlis ini suatu majlis yang memberikan manfaat kepada para pesertanya dan membantu membangunkan negeri Perak Darul Rizwan. Allahumma ya zal jalali wal ikram, apalah kiranya jika engkau melimpahkan taufik dan inayahmu kepada kami dalam program pada hari ini, agar kami dapat melaksanakan program ini dengan penuh kesungguhan dan berpandukan hidayah daripadamu, supaya program ini tidak menjadi program yang sia-sia dan rugi. Allahumma ya hadiyal muhtadin, kami juga meminta dengan penuh harap kepadamu agar hasil program yang dilaksanakan pada hari ini akan dapat menjadi sumber kepada usaha kami, membantu memajukan ekonomi negara Malaysia secara keseluruhan dan negeri Perak Darul Rizwan secara khususnya. Rabbana atmim lana nurana wa kaffir anna sayyiatina wa tawaffana ma'al abrar. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الكرام وسلم تسليما كثيرا والحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله منا ومنكم.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Terima kasih. Thank you, Encik Muhammad Adham. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are immensely grateful for your support and for taking time off your busy schedules today to be with us today. Your presence here is very important, and we thank you for your commitment to the success of MIDA's flagship event of Invest Series Perak. To kickstart the event this morning, may I now invite Yang Berbahagia Dato' Arham Abdul Rahman, CEO of MIDA, to the stage to deliver his welcoming remarks. Dipersilakan Yang Berbahagia Dato'.
Terima kasih Saudara Harul Amir. Yang amat berhormat Datuk Seri Sarani bin Muhammad, Menteri Besar Perak, Berhormat Tuan Loh Zigi, State Executive Council Member of Perak, Chairman of Tourism, Industry, Investment and Corridor Development Committee, Yang berhormat Tuan Sivanesan Achalinggam, State Executive Council Member of Perak, Chairman of Human Resource, Health, National Unity and Indian Community Affairs Committee, Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahmud, Chairman of MIDA, Bahagia Datuk Reza Rafiq Abdul Razak, the CEO Perak State Economic Development Corporation, Yang berusaha Tuan Haji Hanis Yahaya, CEO Perak State Agriculture Development Corporation, SADC, Berusaha Tuan Haji Hashim bin Abdul Ghani, Chief Executive Invest Perak, Berusaha Puan Haliza Sipun, Perak UPEN Director, Head of States and Federal Government Departments and Agencies, representatives from Foreign Chambers of Commerce and Industries, representatives from MNCs, representatives from banks, distinguished guests, members of the media. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very warm and a very good morning. I warmly welcome you all to another milestone of MIDA Invest Series. Allow me to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the Perak State Government for their collaboration in putting this forum together along with MIDA. The MIDA Invest Series serve as a pivotal platform for gathering of business leaders, entrepreneurs, and stakeholders. A golden opportunity for you to expand your horizons, forge new connections, and most importantly, explore the immense potential that Perak, the land of grace, Darul Rizwan, has to offer you. I would like to extend my sincerest thanks to the Menteri Besar Perak, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Sri Sarani bin Muhammad, and Yang Berhormat Tuan Loh Ziyi, the State Executive Council Member of Perak Tourism Industry Investment Corridor Development, for their unwavering support. Your commitment has made this event a resounding success, marked by the highest ever participation in MIDA Invest Series. Yang Amat Berhormat, I was told by my team, there are more than 200 participants attending this forum. Let's delve into the heart of the matter, Perak's economic landscape. For your information, I'm also from Perak. My school is St. Michael Ipoh, Dato' Sri. This state, with its serene landscapes and industrial communities, hold a special place in my heart as my birthplace. It's a region brimming with potential, boasting manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism sectors. Hubs like the Automotive High-Tech Valley or AHTV and Lumut Maritime Industrial City or LUMIC are driving investment and job creation, reflecting our commitment to progress. In the first half of 2023, Malaysia achieved a remarkable 132.6 billion in approved investment across the manufacturing, services, and primary sectors. It is worth noting as at 30th June 2023, Perak has garnered over 22.3 billion in realized investment from a total of 283 manufacturing projects operating, creating more than 20,000 jobs. This is over a period of many years, Datuk Sri. The implementation is not approved. Yeah. For instance, esteemed companies such as Toyo Tire Malaysia, Coherent Malaysia, Murata Electronics, and Hume Cement are among many who have made their marks in Perak. In recent Belanjawan Madani 2024 announcement by the Prime Minister, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, several initiatives were unveiled, including an upcoming high-tech industrial hub in Krian, Perak, poised to enhance Malaysia's electrical and electronic sector, particularly in the northern region. We are also pleased to share that in the Budget 2024 announcement, the government has allocated 100 million ringgit to support the digitalization effort of more than 20,000 SMEs. This presents local companies with the opportunity to upgrade their digital capabilities, enhancing their competitiveness in the global landscape. Recognizing the vital role of the resilient supply chain, MIDA focuses on empowering local suppliers and facilitating access to new technologies and markets. In Perak, companies like Sinopon Ever Thriving, Sdn Bhd, Camping Malaysia Sdn Bhd, Murata Electronics Sdn Bhd, and others have spurred investment, benefiting logistic, packaging, and talent development firms. Their effort align with MIDA's supply chain and business matching program, reinforcing our commitment to drive Perak's growth and build a stronger local ecosystem. Adani Economy Initiative embodies the values of inclusivity and sustainability. The government is committed to forging closer collaboration with every Malaysian citizen as we pursue our shared goals. Building on our ongoing effort, MIDA assumed a pivotal role in the negotiation on 11 October 2023 between the government and GLIS chairman in Tanjung Malim. This marked a significant milestone in accelerating Chile's impressive $10 billion USD investment to transform AHTV into ASEAN's largest electric vehicle export hub. Our heartfelt gratitude extends to Perbadanan Kemajuan Negeri Perak, Invest Perak, Automotive High-Tech Delhi, Perbadanan Kemajuan Pertanian Negeri Perak, and Malaysian and MRCB. Their contributions have been invaluable, enriching our understanding of Perak's economic and investment prospects. I extend heartfelt thanks to the Perak State Government and Invest Perak for their unwavering support. If I may conclude, history has shown that greater collaboration between like-minded partners can yield broad-based economic prosperity. This is an endeavor in which we need all hands on deck, the government, the private sector, and also other stakeholders. So, Yang Amat Berhormat, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to a fruitful exchange with all of you today and wishing you all a highly productive session ahead. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yang berbahagia Datuk. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next agenda, it is with great pleasure that I now invite Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Sarani Muhammad, Menteri Besar Perak, to deliver his keynote address. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, salam Malaysia Madani and salam Perak Sejahtera 2030. Yang berhormat Tuan Loh Zi, State Executive Council Member of Perak, Chairman of Tourism, Industry, Investment and Corridor Development Committee. Yang berhormat Tuan Sivanesan Achalingam, State Executive Council Member of Perak, Chairman of Human Resource, Health, National Unity, and Indian Committee Affairs Committee. Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahbub, Chairman of MIDA, Datuk Arham Abdul Rahman, CEO of MIDA, Tuan Haji Hashim Abdul Ghani, CEO of Invest Perak, Datuk Reza Rafiq Abdul Razak, Chief Executive Perak State Development Corporation, Tuan Haji Yohanes Yahya, CEO of SADC, representative from Foreign Chambers of Commerce and Industries, representative from multinational companies, representative from banks, potential investors, distinguished guests, members of media, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to express my gratitude to MIDA and Invest Perak and all the other organizations involved for organizing today's event titled Perak Invest Series 2023 Unfolding State's Business Potential. Allow me to also record my appreciation to leadership of MIDA for all their support and effort over the years in promoting Perak as one of the premier investment destinations in Malaysia. Events like this have shaped a healthy disclosure on the future of Perak, as well as instill confidence on our state's great potential. Today, I would like to share on how we are ensuring Perak in becoming more business-friendly, resilient, inclusive, and sustainable while leveraging on technology and talent to power us into the next phase of our economic development. Perak Sejahtera 2030. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with firm political stability after 2022 state elections, we were able to provide our clear outline for Perak development through Perak Sejahtera Vision 2030. This vision has 6 key strategic thrusts, which are food security, digital economy, data-driven decision-making, Malaysia-Tibet corridor, sustainable mining, and governance of state interest projects. Perak Sejahtera Vision 2030 was designed to improve the well-being of the people in the state and to achieve a balanced socio-economic development for a more prosperous Perak. Various initiatives have been implemented and more to be rolled out as we move ahead. Perak's economic performance. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Alhamdulillah, the sum of our collective effort has put the Perak economy in a much stronger footing. Allow me to share some statistics about Perak's economic performance. First, Perak labor market continued to strengthen in 2022, with the unemployment rate dropping to 2.8% from 4.5% the previous year. Number two, the participation of workforce in Perak increased in 2022 to 1,122,000 from 1,110,000 the previous year. Third, the positive economic environment throughout last year led to a favorable labor force situation with the creation of more job opportunities in various industries in Perak. Other projects. On top of this, amongst other mega projects in the pipeline are: first, the Automotive High-Tech Valley, AHTV, in Tanjung Malim, a major initiative which is expected to revitalize the Malaysian automotive industry. The project is expected to attract 32 billion ringgit in investments over the next 10 years, create thousands of job opportunities, and help Malaysia become a regional leader in the production of next generation vehicles. Second, establishment of a new high-tech industry hub in Krian, announced by the Honorable Prime Minister in the recent budget 2024 on 13 October 2023. I foresee this industrial hub will greatly support high technology and capital incentive projects which will directly nurture Perak as a conducive business environment, especially for niche sectors. Regarding this, it's my pleasure to share about our investment promotion mission to China, which was held just last week from 15 to 21st October. The mission, which was led by me, has significantly shown successful outcomes. Among them, first, PKNP has signed an MOU with Shanghai Telstar, a leading incubation and innovation China entrepreneurship company, in order to make Perak an ideal destination for innovative entrepreneurs with strong growth potential. Second, Perak Investment Wing. Investment Perak has signed an MOU with Zhejiang Sinopon Technology, a China investment company, for the encapsulation firm with an investment of 2 billion ringgit, which involved setting up new facilities in Ipoh. Hence, will become the first Zhejiang manufacturing in the Southeast Asia. The third, MB Incorporated Perak, or MB Inc., has also explored potential collaboration with Rare Earth Group Company Limited, Perak, which is based in Nanning for the latest technology in isolating rare earth elements and the rehabilitation process or conversion of the industrial site. Number four, apart from that, the state government delegation has also strengthened our collaboration with strategic trading partners, which included China's giant automotive company Geely, in ensuring the success of the 32 billion ringgit AHTV investment in Tanjung Malik. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all these positive indicators point towards an improved economic performance for Perak and reaffirm our status as a crucial economic engine for Malaysia. It is also glowing testament to the hard work put in by everyone in Perak State Government and the wisdom of His Royal Highness Sultan of Perak in prioritizing a stable footing for Perak's economy. Let me assure you that the Perak government is committed to encouraging investment into the state as we are willing and able to consider reasonable incentives or remove obstacles to facilitate investors. Let me also assure you my personal commitment and attention to ease the doing of business in Perak. We have a lot of potentials, we have the talent, we have the resources. Together, we can chart a better future. May this Perak Invest Series 2023 attract more investors to Perak. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Saya amat berhormat Menteri Besar for your keynote address. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have an exciting and informative program ahead of us for today. But first, let us hear the presentation from Perak State Government. This presentation title is Investment Opportunity in Perak, which will be delivered by Yang Berhormat Puan Loh Zeyi, Perak State Exco of Tourism, Industry, Investment and Corridor Development. Yang Berhormat, the floor is yours.
Saya Pengurusi Majlis Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Sarani, Tan Sri Sulaiman, Chairman of MIDA, Berhormat Simonison, Exco Negeri Perak, Datuk Arham, CEO of MIDA, Puan Hasliza, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. So obviously I'm Loh. So today I'm going to present to you what's so great about Perak, or at least I hope you will say I would want to come to Perak because of a certain things. So shall we start? Yes. Right. So basically, I'm just going to take you through the overview of Perak. So you would have Perak at a glance, and the investment performance, Perak Industrial Plan, pre-3 Industrial Perak Parks, Industrial Parks, and why Perak. So let's just say at a glance, Perak at a glance, if you look at it, a big proportions of our state contribution is by the services sector. Of course, naturally, the manufacturing sector is taking about approximately 20% of the contribution of the state GDP, whereas agriculture takes about 14.1%. And you would have the map of Perak. Not finished with the map, sorry. All right. So if you were to look at the map, you will see two funny greenish line there. The first one, the longer one, would be obviously the Plus Highway. So that is one of the most important route for Peninsular Malaysia. In fact, the most important route for Peninsular Malaysia. And if you look at the top of the line and the bottom of the line, that would be Penang and Selangor. Okay, so before we even go further, this is why Perak is very important. As we all know that Selangor is getting very, very congested, and the cost of doing business is actually getting quite high if you take it into Malaysia's context. And of course, at the north, we will have Penang. Penang is getting even more congested than Selangor. Cost of doing business is one thing. From that, the land is another thing. Plus, of course, if you were to look at it in Penang, pinching is a big problem. So that is one of the reasons why you would want to come to Perak. Apart from that, the labor things that we want to talk about, we are a very long state. Oh, sorry. Yes. Apart from the, where was I? Yeah, apart from the resources, right? So it's a very long state. So actually, being a very long state sometimes is a headache for us, because we need to like plan and develop different places. But on the other hand of it, it is a very good thing if you want to invest in Perak. You can have a choice of selecting different places instead of a very congested place. Let's just say, for example, if, for example, you are dealing with a certain heavier industry, which you would need to be by the seaside or something, then you would be choosing Manjung, for example, right? But of course, if you would like to choose places that is very targeted on land logistics, then maybe you would want to be along the highway, and so on and so forth. Let's see. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. Better not. I just give it back to you guys. Let's continue. Sorry. Okay, so this is the investment performance. We would see the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so started from the bottom is chemical and chemical products, electrical and electronics product are amongst the beginning to boom, I will say. But of course, definitely Perak being Perak, we are top at rubber products and of course transport equipment. Thanks. So investment performance, again, we will see that this is the implemented investment sector in manufacturing from 1980 to 2021. Of course, you will see E&E tops the chart, right, with 9 over million. And transport equipment, rubber products. Okay, next. This is the performance. Obviously, I would just forget about this figure because it's 2021 and 2022. And we all know 2021 and 2022 almost like worldwide is like, you can forget about the figure because it's anomaly in our database. I mean, in every countries. Right, let's just move on. This is more of something what is Perak focusing on. So, as we all know, Perak is focusing on E&E. Definitely, we are not as good as Penang as we love to be, right? And then we are also focusing on automotive related parts. One of the things that people tend to remember Perak, they would think that we are very good at mineral-based economy, mineral-based industries. Why? Because every time you pass by the highway, as you reach Ipoh, you will see a lot of, how do I say, disfigured hills. All right, so people would tend to think that we are a very strong mining state. And of course, the history has something to do with it also, because Perak is very well known for our tin mining industry in those days, right? So, but actually we are doing quite good with E&E and also automotive parts. Pharmaceutical and halal economy is something that we are trying to grow, because Perak, as we say, is a very long state and we are quite good in agriculture also. In that sense, we are looking into boosting the agricultural products, right? And of course, opening up the halal market, because as we all know, halal market is a very, very big market in the world economics today. And again, halal food is not only for Muslims, because halal food can also be sold to and be taken by non-Muslims. So, and just for your information, the halal cert that is by the Malaysia government is actually one of the most respected halal cert in the world. And in case you need to pass by any customs or whatever declaration or even any industry standards, if you have Halal Malaysia, that would be something like a free entry. So it's like you will have a VIP lane across every qualification that's needed. Next, please. As we were saying, this is something of the, I would say, the past until today. Most of you would have some kind of presence in Malaysia, right? And you would know these are the presence since from the past until today. We have about 70 existing industrial park in Perak. So starting from the north, you would have a small little one in Sungai Siput, you have in Parit Bunta, you have Kamunting Raya, Kuala Kangsar, Jelapang, FIZ, Bemban, etc., 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 because the list goes on. This is something that is happening today. And I would not really want to go long on this because I think you are more expert than me, because I think most of you are in this line longer than me, right? So you just move on to the next slides. Right. So I think this is the one that you would be looking at. This is the one that you would be more interested to know, right? That is what is upcoming expansion industrial park in Perak. Of course, first of all, we will look at the far left corner at the top is the high-tech park, Korean. Okay. So this is something that is very special, right? We have been proposing a few places. And as we all know, in the recent budget by the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister has already allocated budget to propose and to promote North Perak as the next E&E hub, right? This just goes together with what we said just now of what is happening in Penang. Every one of us know what's happening in Penang, because in Penang, land is getting very scarce, okay? And a lot of the players in Penang actually would need to relocate soon because maybe due to your lease for your land and everything. But at the same time, you would need to tap into the ecosystem that is actually present now in Penang and even in the Seberang Perai area or Butterworth area or whatever we call it, or Batu Kawan and so on and so forth. So that will be the next target, okay? And this is not only targeted by the Perak government, but this is also a targeted development zone targeted by the federal government. So this is where you should go and you would go if you are looking into E&E. Okay, coming down to that, you will have Lumek. Lumek, if you look at it, is something bluish color, all right? Just slightly above there, okay, you have Lumek up and coming. This is a very long development plan. It's a very long development plan. It is not going to finish within my time. It is not going to finish within Datuk Sri's time, I mean the MB's time. I think it might not even be finished within your time, okay? It's about 20 to 30 years long planning, right? This is going to be like from our time and we're going to hand over to our children, right? This is a very long planning. So what is Lumek? Lumek is actually a Lumut Maritime Industrial or something. City sounds awkward, right? It's not a city, it's a big zone. If you look at Lumut is just a small little town, okay, and most of it would really say that it is just a navy town or just a place where you get the ferry across to go to Pangkor. So, but if you were to look into Lumek, sometimes even I am still confused in a certain way. Most of my peers are actually quite confused because we are talking about a lot of things. Right, so that's why I'm saying it's about 20 to 30 years plan. You have Lumut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even Lumut 6. Okay, it would start from, as the name would say, Lumut, right? Lumek, then you start from Lumut, which you have Lumut 1, 2, 3. You have the normal one, we have the port, where you have the port now, the bulk. Okay, those especially dealing with heavy stuff, right? As for example, if you're dealing with minerals and stuff, you can come to Lumut, right? Apart from that, we have all the other things, the energy parts, right? The green energy parts. Of course, we used to think that let's just have a lot of petrochemical there. But of course, as the world would move towards ESG, so maybe we have to rethink, and we are rethinking, and we will have a lot of green energy there. Land, some of them are government, some of them are private, some of them are actually government agencies. So please contact us if you want to come here, right? And a lot of heavy industries have been contacting us. Some of the chemicals that has to do with agriculture and etc. has been contacting us. So this is where Lumik is. Apart from that, as everybody knows that if you are observing the news, Lumut is a collaboration with Antwerp of Belgium, right? So we are partnering with them. So it's not only about just port and just about simple, as we say, just simple industry here and there. It's a whole integrated things between the port and the industrial, and of course, whatever was not. When you have port, most people tend to omit residents. Right. So if we have industry, if we have ports, then where are the people going to live? They are not going to stay at Ipoh and going to work there, right? So that is why that's where the term city actually comes from. Right. It has to be an integrated thing, whereby it has to be how you say, it's a work-life balance. Nowadays, people talk about work-life balance. During my days, my younger days, we don't talk about work-life balance, right? We just go there and then we get scolding from the sunrise until sundown. And that's how Malaysian life is, and that's how we achieve and how we climb up the ladder. But now the younger people will talk about work-life balance. Don't worry about that. Lumik will provide you that because you have ample land. So if you want to build, I mean, we already have, but if you want to build additional Starbucks, for example, McDonald's, for example, it is there. Driving range, yeah. And let's say if you want to go for some sea or whatever marine kind of sports is ready. I'm going too long already. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is moving forward. Okay, if you look, this is the target year, okay, of what we plan to achieve, right, by attracting investment. As we are looking to, I will look at this figure, okay, and it's not a really big deal, actually, if you look at it, for the state of Perak, and then we talk about RM 3.96 billion. If you talk about, just picking up some figure, if you look at 2021, 2.36 billion. Come on, what kind of number is this? Because maybe one industry, one of you guys come in, set the factory, your factory would be 4 billion, for example, would be even more than the numbers that we are having here, right? So again, as we say, sometimes a lot of these figures are planned previously, and we are very, how do we say, we are very optimistic that the figures here is actually going to be more, how to say, it's going to be lower than what is going to be actually achieved. Because by the experience that we are having now in Perak, with the numbers of people that's actually coming in to look for land and to look for investment opportunities, I would say this figure, I'm not saying that the experts that actually went through sleepless nights and doing all their work, actually, especially the professionals in MIDA, right? I'm not saying that these figures are wrong. I'm just saying that this figure is done during past time. But what you're coming to Perak, and if you come to observe in Perak, and you see the vibes and you see the feel in Perak, you will say this figure might need to be revised upwards, right? Okay, let's just move on. Why Perak? Okay. This slide might be slightly more of my forte, because if you observe at the top there, most probably a lot of things will be quantitative, right? So when it comes to quantitative stuff, again, personally, I would say quantitative stuff is a lot of times is historical. It tends to plan and chart according to history, and that does not really reflect to what is happening to Perak right now. And we are looking, because we have a big change in Malaysia government, as you all know. We have a big change in Perak government, again, as you all know. And that's why Perak in the future will not really be the same as Perak as before. Let's just say, for example, people tend to omit Perak. People tend to forget about Perak, because when you talk about strategic location, for example, right? So it's better for me to be in Penang. It's better for me to be in Selangor, for example, because that's where all the ecosystem is, because that's where all the talents are, etc., etc., right? But the real fact in the future, if you're doing business in Malaysia, sorry, Penang is getting too costly. Selangor is getting too costly. Hence, you would have to leave. You have to look for a better place. But the place that you want to look for shouldn't be a barren land. The place that you want to look for shouldn't be in the middle of the jungle. The place that you want to look for actually should have excellent infrastructure and connectivity. And that is why, if you recall the map at the very front, at the very beginning, you have the greenish line. That is where the plus is. That is where your logistic is going to move through. And Perak has the longest north-south expressway line. Let's just say, for example, if you find a certain place, of course, later on when in our engagement, you can talk to the investment officers from MIDA, from Invest Perak, and we have all our, I think most of our important districts officers are here, right? So let's just say, for example, if you have located a land or somewhere near the highway or whatever, we call it highway, right? Actually, it's plus highway. Negotiations can be made if your investment is big enough. Maybe we just put a puncture in the way in there and have an exit toll. Because as we know, as we are saying now, as we are talking and we're sitting in the room right now, negotiations are being made to do a few more puncture in the North-South Expressway to ease the logistics for future industrial park. And then I think we are having a very good positive discussion. And as things goes on, if let's just say, for example, if you want to invest in a certain area that you think that is more suitable to your investment, right, that will be very good in terms of infrastructure and connectivity. Perak was the richest state in Malaysia long ago. Hence, a lot of our infrastructure and connectivity in the terms of land transport and everything are quite good. So that we do not really need to be worried about. And of course, abundance of resources. Okay, depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for things like tin mining, I'm sure you'll be like, we are not really going to there. So please don't come to Perak and talk about tin mining unless you are very, very cost effective and you can do it very, very at a very low price, right? But yet we are having some other things. Amongst the things that's popular with Perak will be whatever to do with calcium mostly, right? Calcium, CC, right? Calcium carbonate, and of course kaolin, etc., etc. But we would like to remind that we would not really like for you to just come and dig and bomb our hills, right? We really want downstreams also, right? So we don't really encourage raw material kind of exports. So if you were to come in to do mining resources for that, well, it needs to be with downstream. But of course, apart from that, other resources is also available. As our Menteri Besar rightly pointed out, we have a huge reserve of rare earth. Okay, and this rare earth, of course, as again our PM had announced, that will be banned from exporting out of Malaysia. And even if in the future, even if I'm saying it is exported, it is expected to be returned back to Malaysia. And of course, if it's Perak, then it should be in Perak. And that would spur another round of high-tech metals or high-tech whatever things that is related with the rare earth from Perak. The industry, okay, then you can come to maybe, for example, have your plants in Silver Valley. Silver Valley is something like not really in the heart of Ipoh, it's like outskirts of Ipoh. You can come and have a look, right? That is perfect logistics. You can have your 5G, you can have your logistics and everything, land logistics and everything ready. Okay, with ample human capital, and of course, in Perak itself, I wouldn't say 100%, but I would say 90% is definitely our cost is competitive, especially the labor, right? So, of course, the human capital is also there. If you're coming to Ipoh, it's a big reservoir of human labor there, okay, human resource. And we do not really need to advertise the capability of Perak people. Actually, I'm sure every one of you here in your organization, you will have talents coming from Perak. And you would know that Perak is actually, I don't know whether I should be proud of this fact or not, but actually Perak is the #1 brain exporter from Malaysia. Not the physical brain, right? I mean, we are the #1 brain exporters. Our talents are everywhere. Our talents are even ministers in Singapore. Our talents are even ministers in Australia. Our talents are even NASA scientists, so on and so forth, right? So we have a lot of talents. To say that labor cost, human resource would not be a problem for Perak. The only thing for Perak right now is you guys to come in. I'm being very honest here. Right, if I'm coming here today, by us coming here today, and we tell you, look, we are a good place. If you don't come, you miss us. Yeah, that's true. I would say that is true. If you don't come, you will miss the boat because Perak is going to come up very fast. And of course, with it being a prime minister state, right, and being so many ministers in Ipoh, definitely we are going to come up fast. So better come while you're cheap. While we are cheap, not you're cheap. And while we are cheap, right, while our land is still cheap, while our resources are still cheap, please come. But on the other hand, I would be lying to you that we are not trying to ask you to come to Perak. Please come to Perak. Seriously, come and consider us because it's a both win-win thing for us, right? For us in Perak, we need development. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say that, okay, you don't come, it's your choice. You are going to lose it. Perak needs your investment. There's no doubt about it. If not, you wouldn't have this morning session. But again, seriously, apart from that, the effort that Perak is going to do and the effort that we are going through, and you are seeing that things are moving into Perak. I mean, you guys are business guys, right? You observe the news. I don't really. I just observe the political news. Who is fighting who is calling whose name, right? But you are the business community, so you are more observant of this. And you are seeing the things. You are seeing the news. You are seeing, I mean, it's not from my mouth. It's not from MB's mouth. Right? It's actually from the foreign organization, whereby you actually see that these entities are coming, especially AHTV. We've spoken about 30 over billion, right, in the next few years. And again, when these 30 over billions, they come, it's not only just, they are not just going to make cars. You're going to have a whole ecosystem there. You would need batteries. You would need whatever, some other things. You would need chips. You would need other things, even the plastics or whatever you would call it. I'm not a technical guy. I wouldn't really know all the technical terms, but it would not be just about making cars, right? And then, of course, the quality of life. Perak is something very different, right? If you like beach, I cannot fight with Penang. Yeah, go ahead, go to Penang. If you really like beach, go to Penang. Right, but again, we do have many beautiful beaches also in Perak. Right, Perak is Penang being an island, you have beach. But Perak, we have a lot of long stretch of beach also. Right. Apart from that, the lifestyle, if you like greeneries, Perak is beautiful. Right, and the lifestyle, we are what we call, people would call us a pension state. Right, pension state for pensioners. You go there means you pension. Oh, you go to Perak. Oh, you pension already, so that is the state of Perak. Not yet pension when you go to Perak. All right. So that would be things in Perak. But if you come to Perak, that would be a good, as I said, balance of life for your executives. Right. Let's just face the fact here, right? A lot of you guys, when you do investment, you are not going to do an investment of 100,000. You are not going to do investment of 500,000. You are talking about 500 million, you are talking about 5 billion. And your investment today, I think all of you, most of you, if given a choice, I'm saying if given a choice, you would not do capital intensive investment on labor. You would do capital intensive investment on AIs, on automations, right? So most of your people would be management. Most of your people would be management or even middle management, right? Even the lower rung of the people that will be in your future organization, they are professionals because they will be engineers. They would not be just blue collar, right? So a lot of your people would come to you and demand from you, boss, I want balance of life. I want Starbucks. Some would demand even Starbucks to be in the factory, right? Maybe not Malaysia yet, I see, but in a lot of other countries, Starbucks are actually in the factory. Right? So, I mean, come on. You want balance of life? You come to Perak because it's a slow-paced place. Your executive is going to love it. When they have balance of life, their productivity is going to be higher. Their creativity is going to be higher. Hence, the income and the generation of wealth for your organization, of course, is going to be higher. Right? I think we are reaching towards the end of it. And there's just one more slide. Finally. Oh, no. This one I've already gone through that. Move. How come so many? Move again. Yeah. Why I'm not going to talk about all this, right? Because just now, there's a lot of technical stuff. I don't want to bore you with it. That would be a good excuse. But actually, the next people that's going to come out, they are going to be better, right? We have all the CEOs from Invest, from the agricultural side and from the PKNP side. They are better with the figures. They can answer you your technical part. But the next one, which is the closing slide, will be, hey, sorry. All right, the last one is this. What I'm going to tell you is, next year, 2024 is going to be a Visit Perak year, right? You will see the whole states. This is the clusters of what we can offer in Perak. All right, people will ask me, why are you showing all this in text instead of in photo form or in pictures form or whatever that you can show me? Where's the, if you talk about, for example, if you talk about the mosque, where's the photo of the mosque? If you talk about the zoo, where's the photo of the zoo? Well, this is investment people. Investment people don't talk about photos. You talk about figures. You talk about what's in the text. So I'm not going to show you that. But if you are interested, please come to Perak. Next year is 2024. I promise you, you would not regret it. You would love Perak, okay? We have night safaris in Taiping, right? We have the, I will always say, we have the fairy tale setting, the most beautiful palace complex in Malaysia, in Kuala Kangsar. Come and experience it yourself. We have the Leaning Tower of Teluk Intan. Sometimes I always wonder, why is it so popular, but yet it's very popular. Basically, I mean, if some of you are engineers here, you would be scratching your head, right? This is actually something that went wrong with engineering. You calculated wrongly. The tower is leaning and still you're so proud of it. I don't know why, but people are taking photos in Teluk Intan. So you go and have a look in Teluk Intan, and then you maybe can come back and tell us why this is so famous there, right? From the engineering point of view, and a lot of other things. But apart from the sites that we're seeing, why I'm having this towards is, I'm just saying that if in case that you guys are actually looking into diversifying your investment, you could actually come to Perak and try to do the hospitality line, right? Because Perak has been consistently the top 1, 2, 3 for the last few years for domestic travel, and of course for others. So we are always top 1, 2, 3 in terms of tourism is concerned in Peninsular Malaysia, right? So if you have guys that want to build theme parks, if you have guys that want to build, for example, hotels, of course we need Perak needs 3 stars and above hotels, right? You want to build hotels and so on and so forth, please contact us. We have people ready to work with you. Maybe people from Invest, from MIDA, and also from PKNP can talk to you, right? So that would be all from me. Thank you very much. I hope that what I've been saying to you, all this would not be too unconventional, but anyhow, thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Terima kasih.
Yes, thank you, Yang Berhormat Tuan Loh. It was truly insightful and informative presentation, and kindly remain on stage for the exchange token of appreciation session. Turun. Okay. May I now call upon our esteemed guests of honor, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Sri Sarani Muhammad, Menteri Besar Perak, and Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahbub, Chairman of MIDA, accompanied by Yang Berhormat Tuan Loh, Yang Berhormat Tuan Sivanesan, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Arham, and Yang Berusaha Puan Haja Halizah to be on stage for the exchange of token of appreciation. And for the first session, I would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahbub to present the token of appreciation to Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Sri Sarani Muhammad. And now, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Sri Sarani Muhammad, on behalf of Perak State Government, will present his token of appreciation to Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahbub. And kindly remain on stage for the next group photo session. Next, I would like to invite Yang Berusaha Mr. Siva Suryamurthy Sundararaja, our Deputy CEO. speakers, moderators, and also Chief Executive of Indes Perak, Tuan Haji Muhammad Hashim Ghani, and also Encik Shukri Waka, the Director of Domestic Investment Division MIDA, to be on stage to join for the group photo session. Speakers as well. Thank you. Thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Our next session is the press conference. With that, may I now invite Yang Amat Berhormat Menteri Besar Perak, Yang Berhormat Tuan Loh, Yang Berhormat Tuan Sivanesan, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Selaman, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Arham, and Yang Berusaha Puan Hajah Haliza, together with members of the media, to proceed to Ruby Room for the press conference. To the rest of the distinguished guests, please return to your seat for the next session. We appreciate your cooperation and also kind attention. Let's moving on with a presentation by Perbadanan Kemajuan Negeri Perak, PKNPK, titled Unlocking New Opportunities, Perak's Silver Valley Technology Park. This presentation will be delivered by Yang Berbahagia Dato' Reza Rafiq Abdul Razak, the CEO of PKNPK. Dan segala hormatnya, kita persilakan.
Assalamualaikum. Very good morning to everyone. First of all, thank you for coming today. What I will be sharing with you is a bit on what drives us forward, which is Perak Sejahtera 2030. That is the state's development agenda. Take the state all the way up to the year 2030. Then I will talk to you about the Silver Valley Technology Park. This is a real value proposition for investors. And also some other upcoming locations as what was mentioned by the State Exco for investment while below. And a short video, which I hope they've inserted the English version because we also have a Mandarin version. This is the driving force of the state's development agenda that will take us all the way up to 2030. It's called the Perak Sejahtera Development Plan 2030. This one outlines 5 principles. And if you look at it, I would like to take your attention to this part. That smart partnership. Smart partnership indicates that the state has positioned the private sector as the main driver for economic development, with the state playing the role of enabler and facilitator to drive economic growth. And then we also have 6 main agenda items, if you look at this. Later on, I think Tuan Haji Yanis will be highlighting this, the agenda of food security and what we're doing in terms of food security. And we have 5 other key agenda items. And driving these agenda items forward are 18 flagship programs, of which I would like to highlight 3, because these provide a platform. These provide a platform for us with regard to our growth nodes. First of all, the TVET corridor, which is flagship number 4. This provides a funnel of human capital. So the state has 62 institusi pengajian tinggi that actually provides TVET subjects. And the main thrust of any new investment is the availability of industry-relevant human capital. Secondly, programs to continuously inculcate human capital development programs and entrepreneurship programs into the state. And last but definitely not least is flagship number 9, investor-friendly programs, which I will show you again in a later slide. This is what we want to do. And to actually drive this forward, we have the state agencies, of which PKNP, for one, has had history, of which we have developed to date more than 8,000 acres of industrial parks. We've done 13 so far, and to take things to the next level, there is a need to actually leverage on, firstly, the state's strategic location, and of course, the availability of a conducive support ecosystem. The course of coming up with Plan Perak Sejahtera 2030, we looked at the changes that have come to us, firstly in the economy, secondly in sectoral organizations, vertical integration, horizontal integration, and last but definitely not least, transportation. The importance of logistics, the importance of staging points, and the importance of national and international gateways. Perak, as Wabilo mentioned, is a very, very long state. And because of this, the industrial ecosystems differ by location. Each region is unique. Each region has its own strengths, has its own value propositions. And the people there also have certain idiosyncrasies. I am from Perak. I cannot speak a word of Ipoh dialect. Okay. For example, you have the North. North has the E&E ecosystem. Then you have the Middle. The Middle also has a type of E&E ecosystem, but not similar to or not identical to the one in the North. And of course, you have the Coastal, which is the maritime ecosystem. And in the South, you have the automotive ecosystem. So the focus areas for the state under Perak Sejahtera 2030, you have, again, because of land, we also have connectivity advantages. So first of all, we have in the middle, the Silver Valley Technology Park. It is smack in Ipoh itself. Next, we have the development of the Northern Industrial Initiative. Everybody's talking about this. This is to capitalize on the spillovers of Penang and South Kedah. Third is the development of the Perak Halal Industrial Park, or Perak HIP, and the Lumut Maritime Industrial City, or LUMIC. You will see more of this later. And of course, in the south, you have the AHTV. Encik Khalid is here to take you through the value proposition here for AHTV. First of all, the Silver Valley Technology Park. Because of the name, people will ask, kat mana ni? Silver Valley Technology Park ni. So this is where it is. Farms equipped with complete infrastructure, utilities, supporting amenities. We will be building a business support center, centralized labor quarters, and if you look at this, if you look at this, Chang has been approved, and the EIA has been approved. And we'll see this launch sometime soon. The real value proposition for Silver Valley Technology Park is it has excellent livability. You don't have to actually build houses there because there are already houses in Ipoh. Secondly, flexible designs. It will be part of the Perak State's investment-friendly approach to actually customize the requirements of the investors. At this moment, we are building a zero waste facility for a multinational company over there. Long lease options and, of course, tax and non-tax incentives. Total approved area is in excess of 2,000 acres with easy access to PLUS, to Ipoh Cargo Terminal, the Ipoh Airport, Penang Port, and also Port Klang. The current stage that we're in, the current phase that we're in, is that we're launching 816 acres. This is the perfect business and perfect setting, to provide companies with an offering. The companies, for investors, for potential business partners to thrive and to prosper. And if you look at it, we have the distribution substation already. Water, not a problem. Telco towers are around, workers' accommodation, and also we have a gas pipeline in the area itself. This would be the logistics convenience of the Silver Valley Technology Park, strategic location, and its accessibility to Penang Port, to Ipoh, to Lumut Port, Port Klang, JLIA, Singapore, and Kuala Lumpur is just breathtaking. Singapore, you have twice a day flights direct to Singapore. That is a big exclamation point in my eyes. And these are the focus areas that we're looking at. These are the focus areas that we've positioned the Silver Valley Technology Park to actually move forward with. So what is the logic for this? What is the logic for this? This is because of the current ecosystem that's already there. This is because of the current range of companies that are already there. And it is because of the engineering-based skill sets that are already prevalent in this location. You have the E&E, you have medical equipment, pharmaceuticals, digital economy, and of course, mineral-based technology. In the case of mineral-based technology, I need to highlight to you of the Royal Address on the 25th of August 2021 is that the positioning now is for the state to attract companies that do value add in the mineral arena. The companies that do processing and not just mining and selling. So that is the position, because when you do value add, when you do processing, when you do midstream and downstream activities, you create jobs and business opportunities. And this is where we want to attract investors. This is where we actually provide incentives, we provide ease of doing business, we provide end-to-end hand-holding. I cakap pasal ekosistem kan. Now, these are the companies that are in the area within 15 minutes of the Silver Valley Technology Park. There you have Top Glove, Coherent, Custom, Mapa Professional, Imris, Broma, Lafarge, Henkel, Yamaha, and Jinjing. So, and on top of that, these are the support. These are the smaller companies that are also there. Ini bukan kawasan yang in the middle of nowhere. This is not something that we need to plant. In the middle of the jungle. This is surrounded by company. What does this mean? It means that the support ecosystem in the area, the prevailing support ecosystem in the area is already mature. That means you have the service companies, the testing companies, the maintenance companies, the calibration companies, they're all there. The logistics companies, they're all servicing the investors that are already in this particular location. In terms of movability, we have a host of leisure and recreation locations, hospitals, we have government hospitals, and we have a whole host of private hospitals. We have institusi pengajian tinggi, both government and private entities. And of course, nearby, we have Ipoh. And we have Bandar Maduraya. And I can show you this. This is one of the most happening locations. One of the most happening locations in Ipoh. This is the go-to place for the Ipoh people for some reason. I will go here. I'm not from Ipoh, I'm from Asam Kumbang. So one day I was in the coffee house. I saw a family sitting, a mother and I think 3 young kids. Suddenly the father came after meeting, said, okay, lepas makan, kita ke Bulatan. And they were ecstatic. The kids went into a frenzy and they went into the Bulatan. This is the most happening place in Ipoh at the moment. Again, sorry, I have to rephrase that. The most happening halal place in Ipoh at the moment. These are the range of products, in line with the support provided by the state under flagship number 9 of the Perak Sejahtera 2030 plan, which is investor-friendly programs. We have a whole host of products. We have instead of just having industrial plots, this was done to great end in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even in the early 2000s, 21st century. So, but now we have build to suit and sell, build to suit and lease, build to suit, lease, and then sell, ready-built warehouses, ready-built factories, and of course also centralized labor quarters, centralized living quarters. Why? Why do we do this? It is because we understand, the state of Perak understands that each investor will have its own unique preference, will have its own unique set of appetites. So we deliver this. We deliver this, we customize the offerings to their needs. Of course, we have additional new utilities and amenities. We have a high-speed internet. And later on, probably next month, you will see a signing to actually enhance the internet capabilities. We have 24-hour multi-tiered security, and of course, the business center. For those familiar with Cyberjaya, you will remember this place called Cyberview Lodge. Cyberview Lodge was called the Transit Office Complex. That was the business center. I built the business center in Cyberjaya. And of course, we have these key components. Yeah? One is special offerings on land premium. Those up to 99 years. We have a dedicated center of excellence, center of investment, one-stop center that handles issues faced by investors. This will be under Invest Perak. No restrictions. They can mortgage investors after they actually purchase the land or have long-term lease on the land. They can actually mortgage it to their financiers. And of course, we have pre-packaged incentives depending on the value proposition that you show to the state and to the federal government. Because high-impact projects have a better range of customized incentives. Imagine this. When an investor comes in, what will be the key components that you look at? I have tried to imagine what we can offer, tried to imagine what we can actually put in to support the investors. And the Silver Valley Technology Park actually provides for this. The Silver Valley Technology Park provides and facilitates for industrial clustering, and it actually helps companies because you already have companies in the area, you already have companies operating in the area, and you already have the support entities, the support organizations that will provide you with an enhanced experience into the area. So it is not just the government, but it is also about the other members, private sector that is around the area that will be working with you, that you can actually on. Next is the portion that we talk about, which is in the north. This has come out in the budget recently. Everybody's talking about this. So, this is what was mentioned. This is to support the E&E industry. This is to support the E&E cluster. This is to actually take advantage of the ecosystem. The planning area had the advantage of having a 50 years evolution based on the microprocessor, based on semiconductors. And this 50 years of evolution has created a set of critical engineering-based baseline skills that has allowed it to expand into other similar activities like LEDs, like medical devices. So, in this case, we are looking at coming up with a location to actually capitalize on the spillovers. What do I mean by the spillovers? Spillovers can come because they will What spillover from South Kedah can come because they will be able to enjoy all these facilities here, about 30 kilometers approximately. And again, as I showed just now, with Silver Valley Technology Park, we also have companies that are operating within approximately 30 kilometers. And I think most of you know these companies already. So can you imagine the benefits that we have when we develop this place? So I won't touch more on this because this is in the works by the federal government. All I'm saying to you today, all I'm saying to you this morning is watch this space. The area of the Perak Halal Industrial Park or Perak HIP and the Lumut Maritime Industrial City or Lumik. So I will touch on Lumik a bit. This is, as you can see, this is Lumut Port. This is Lumut Port. And what we are doing now is to actually take things forward, take things to the next level. From Lumut Port, we are changing to do this. So as you can see, this is a map. So apa dia yang kita buat ni? Okay, this is Lumut Port. And this is the Lumut Port Industrial Park. Lumut Port Industrial Park is about 1,000 acres. And there are about 99 companies there. About 100. As you can see, there are many blocks of colored boxes there. What we do now is we have done the earthworks for this. Now we're starting building on the quay wall. We're starting a building on the quay wall. We've acquired this land, and soon there will be a whole series of activities going all the way here, all the way here. So, what is this? Is this a port? Is it a port? No, it's not. It's not a port. It is a maritime industrial development area. It is a maritime industrial development area. It is a location where you have a series of industrial locations, a series of industrial developments serviced by maritime terminals. And this was the reason why the Port of Antwerp actually came and partnered with us. The support of the European Union to actually take this forward. Why? Pasal apa Port of Antwerp ni suka? Sebab dia pun river port. Sebab dia pun ada banyak terminal. Sebab dia pun ada banyak industrial areas dekat kawasan tu. Ya, chunks and chunks of industrial areas. They are the second largest port in the EU. They are the second largest port in the EU. So we're very excited about this. It is very long-term punya development, but you will see announcements later in the course of the next, maybe this year akan ada announcement juga. There'll be little announcements over the years. Like Wabilo cakap, 25 years. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I end, if you look at this big finger there, there'll be a short video of a bit more than 2 minutes that I will show you.
Malaysia's robust economy and strategic location present alluring investment prospects. And within Malaysia, Perak emerges as a compelling investment destination. Let's discover Perak, a place where opportunities shine brighter than gold. Perak abounds with bountiful, remarkable natural riches and awe-inspiring beauty. A dynamic fusion of races, cultures, and faith shapes our unity. Mesmerizing artistry and handcrafts enthrall the eyes, captivate the soul, and ignite the mind. Agricultural Advancement Hub. Productivity Powerhouse. Resource-rich haven. Seamless logistics network. Healthcare excellence. Educational epicenter. Holistic living oasis. The Silver Valley Technology Park is Southeast Asia's pioneer in digital disruptive technology parks, turning innovative ideas into practical solutions. The Automotive High-Tech Valley is envisioned as a smart city and is on track to establish itself as the region's central hub for next-generation vehicles. And the Lumut Maritime Industrial City aims to drive economic growth through private sector involvement, including foreign and domestic investments with customized economic zone incentives. All of this is a realization driven by the Perak State Government Initiative to enhance the ease of doing business under the Perak Sejahtera 2030 Development Agenda. Looking to invest in Perak? The Perak State Economic Development Corporation offers various options, ranging from industrial plots, customizing your ideal space, to providing pre-built facilities for lease or purchase. With its dynamic economic landscape, digital infrastructure, cultural diversity, and investor-friendly policies, Perak is a prime destination for businesses aiming to broaden their reach within Southeast Asia.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for indulging me in this session. Sekian terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Yang Berbagai Dato', for the eye-opening presentation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of MIDA and Perak State Government, we would like to thank you for being here. We hope that today's event will be an opportunity for all of you to gain as much information and make meaningful connections. Before we proceed to the third presentation, I would like to remind that you may pose any questions to our panelists during the Q&A session later. Please do so by posting your questions in the Slido by scanning the barcode in the handout, which we have distributed earlier, or you may log in into the Slido page, slido.com, and enter the code #InvestSeriesPerak. We also have several questions inside the slide. We would like you to vote which is the best question to be answered during the Q&A session later. But besides that, please do not forget to fill up the evaluation form and return it to our registration counter to claim your door gift. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our third presentation is my Automotive High-Tech Valley, AHTV. This presentation will be delivered by Mr. Muhammad Khalid Yusof, Senior Director of AHTV. Chief Muhammad Khalid, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Very good morning and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to address HTV. For some of you, you may not understand HTV, and you have read a lot of reports in the media, and also some of the announcement made by the Prime Minister. In fact, the Prime Minister visited HTV about 2 weeks ago and have the first pembangunan wilayah HTV meeting chaired by the Prime Minister. So for today, I think it is at the best interest of everybody. I will explain about HTV. Next page, please. Someone control that for me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So to start with, I will explain a little bit about the overview of HTV, and then the current and future development, and also the key takeaways for you to bring home. First of all, HTV is actually in the north of KL. I know, of course, it is in Tanjung Malim, Perak, but we like to use it as north of KL because we are not far away from where you are sitting today. It is about 50 minutes away from MIDA Central here. It's not that far away. And we are also not far from Penang. It's about 3.5 hours or 4 hours if the jam hold us back. And Port Klang and KLIA also within 1.5 hour reach. Yeah. Land size of this place is about 4,000 acres, but currently, some of the land has been taken up by development. One of the biggest development is Proton. We have the Proton plant there, and by end of 2026, the Shah Alam plant will be closed down for good, and all the manufacturing facility will be centralized in AHTV. And on the right side, there's a chocolate or yellow color there. Land belongs to the RB Highcom, that are currently the master developer for the whole area. And they have developed houses, residentials, schools, commercials, as well as the vendor area. Yeah. So this place is basically a combination of brown and green field. It's not completely green. It has its element inside the place, inside Proton plant. This HTV, when we discuss with the government of Malaysia, so we want to create a new automotive hub, which center around high technology, next generation vehicle, and so on and so forth. And we propose this to the government, and I think over the last 3 years that we sell this idea to the government, we are very much, in fact, in line with the national automotive policy, which inside national automotive policy, the government have this focus of to have our automotive R&D and manufacturing growth. And the government also would like to have new investment and partnership in automotive sector, and to establish Malaysia as also a global R&D center. And this will attract world-class local talents. If you read the papers over the last 5 to 10 years, you have seen a lot of automotive players coming into ASEAN, but they basically landed in Thailand and Indonesia and Vietnam. So this is our role, to attract this OEM to be in Malaysia again, and that is why we are creating this HTV. And if you look at the new industrial master plan NIP 2030, which was recently announced about 2 months back, and the government is also encourage advanced economic complexity and technology based industry going forward. So we are basically in line with the government aspiration. If you look at the automotive sector around the world, like it or not, China is the main player. You can look at the bar chart on the left there. 33% of world production of vehicle came from China. Yeah. So this is a very huge capacity and capability by China, and they are looking at investing outside China over the last 5 years. Yeah. So that's why I think we want to make HTV as a new global automotive hub, to cater for them. And if you look at the evolution of technology in car industry, in automotive industry. On the left side, is the normal ICE, internal combustion engine, and we are gradually moving into electric on the middle there. Electric, you can have hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and also electric EV, basically battery vehicle. Yeah. And very soon, we are moving into autonomous and connected vehicle. So what I'm trying to say here, if we are not pushing ourselves to make Malaysia and a new auto hub for next generation vehicle, we will completely miss out on this new trend. Otherwise, you will go to other places in Malaysia. They are producing ICE engine, but they are going to extinct sooner or later. So that's why we mentioned to the government that we require latest knowledge, basically in product innovation, simulation, validation, and also certification. Because if you bring in the next generation vehicle, likewise, the certification and validation by our authority will also need to be improved. Yeah, meaning that macam Myros, macam JPJ, they also need to go higher. Otherwise, we are left out. And we have seen a lot of companies moving into Malaysia as well. We are happy with this environment and with this new OEM and investment, but really we need to enhance it further, because we can't being the second or third layer to ASEAN other countries like Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Yeah. And this HTV, come in with 4 strategic trusts. Yeah, we have this trust that we put in, and we sell it to the government. That number one, we want to enhance export capability. So not only for proton cars, but also other parts and component makers. They are welcome to come over into HTV and build their export market from Malaysia. Yeah. Number 2 is we want to establish global R&D expertise. Yeah, this is very important because you need to keep track with the global trend, and you need to have people. That's form strategic trust number 3. We are also establishing a research university for talents, because the syllabus that we have in local units basically 10 years or 15 years behind China or behind Japan. So we need to infuse new courses that is in line with the next generation vehicle and trend. So this is where we are partnering a foreign university to have a setup in HTV. And number 4, strategic trust number 4 there. Of course, we are developing an automotive smart city. We are not only build industrial park, but we are also putting up efforts to enhance the ecosystem and also the supporting development within the HTV area. And this is where I mentioned that we need to capture investment in high-tech and also next generation vehicles. So by having this HTV, we are at the center of ASEAN. And the targeted industry that we are putting in, you see at the bottom there, very much on next generation elements like automotive microchips, components for NAV and next generation vehicle, and manufacturing of other OEMs. We are not particularly protecting Proton in HTV, but we are also inviting other OEMs and component makers to join in. Yeah, so these are things that we are pushing now. We've done a lot of investment promotion. The recent one was on 17th of July, which was graced by Meeting Minister Tengku Zafrul, and we have managed to call 73 vendors to participate. And this is a combination of foreign and also local vendors to understand what HTV can offer to them and why they need to move to HTV if they are interested. Yeah? because there are some special incentives there. Attracting overseas vendors is also our main agenda. When we met up with the government, we said we need to alleviate local vendors' capability. Local vendors, when they go to China or when they go to Japan, they are far behind. So that's why we are encouraging overseas vendors to have a collaboration together with the local vendors, or they can come in 100% FDI. So these are some of the methods that we promote to the foreign vendors, for the local vendors to participate. In this development program, we have had our vendors program, because sometimes, when you want to move to new electric vehicle or new components, you need to infuse some element in it. It's just like, when your car not moving, you need to jump start something. So this is what we are helping the local vendors to develop their capability and also production capacity. Yeah. So these are the picture of HTV. You can see at the back proton plant. At the bottom there, this is the new campus of UPSI. The right side at the foot of the mountain is the residential area, and in the middle is the vendor park. And you can see the road system are all completed and very advanced. We have a dual carriageway, and we have spent a lot of money on this. Yeah. So this is proton plant. For those who have not seen proton plant in Tanjung Malim, this is the aerial view. It's a very nice plant at the foot of the Banjaran Titi Wangsa. Yeah. Again, we are developing based on an integrated automotive city. I'm not here to only develop an industrial park. Don't get me wrong. Unlike Dato' Reza just now, he mentioned about industrial park. But for me, for us, we are planning to have an integrated automotive city, which people can work, live, and play within the same place. And of course, there's a lot of effort. And I would like to encourage, if you are investors, you are interested to be part of it, and just let us know. Sometimes, you have friends in the hospitality sector. Sometimes you have friends in maybe retail. Do let us know, because this place will grow tremendously over the next few years. And the Prime Minister has putting his focus to this area, and it will become a national project. And we are also ESG driven. Yeah. In fact, we are committed to the protection of the green environment. And for instance, this is the program conducted by Proton from 2014, even before ESG words was conceived. We have started our effort on the green. And what is most important is our solar PV project in 2021. If you look at the picture there, this is where we won an award for at the national level, because even though we don't have EV cars, but we do protect the environment through the solar PV project, which, for your overall information, we can energize up to 25% of electricity for the plant. Yeah, so this is a huge project. And by 2025, we will have a direct gas pipeline from Bido to HTV. The project has started now. Can we see the video of solar? This is a less than 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, so that's on the solar. I know we encouraging other manufacturers also to go into this. Yeah. Okay, current and future development. Of course, having vendors is also important for to support proton operation. So currently we have 18 vendors operating the vendor park, and we have another 4 vendors to move in by next year. Yeah. Short to medium term factory are under construction. We have about 8 factories. If you are interested to move into or to come over and have a piece of AHTV, you can go into this plug and play kind of approach where you can just rent the place. Yeah. Currently, there are 4 factories under Fit3 development that is having the size of about 57,000 square feet up to 85,000 square feet for the facility. These are the latest picture. And number 2, JHC, they have also built 2. And Hamodal, they also built 2 factories. Yeah. And for medium term, we will construct a new industrial lots at Parcel 5. Very soon, we will start the project. Medium to long term, we will have phase 1 and phase 2 mounting to about 1,000 acres. This is to cater not only for vendor, but also for commercial center, hotels, and the research university. So these are the plan that we have over the next few years. And of course, the development of HTV, we have this ambition to have an auto museum as well here, beside the R&D and testing center. You can see a lot of things that we are putting up. Yeah. The key takeaways from this presentation, I think, like what Dr. Reza mentioned just now. But for our side, as you can see just now, it is a combination of brown and green field. We have a high quality infrastructure, dual carriageway, good houses, good community. We have attractive incentive given to HTV. We can explain this to you guys when you meet us later. Yeah. Of course, committed state and local authorities is also supporting us. We are friends with them, and they are really helping us on this. Point number 4 is very important. We are on higher grounds. We are not flooding that place because we are 200 meters above sea level. As compared to Klang Valley, is about 30 meters above sea level. That's why Klang Valley always flooded. But HTV in Tanjung Malim is on higher ground. You can be rest assured, that it will not happen. Yeah, and we have a good industry ecosystem proximity. Yeah, we have built up the industry ecosystem, and we will enhance that in the future. Ready utilities, we have abundance water, electricity supply. Very soon we have the gas pipeline coming. And another good point, we have good road and railway connectivity because we are not far away from Last Toll Highway. And we are also connected with 2 KTM train stations, one for the passenger, the other one soon to be a container yard. For if you want to have export, you can bring your goods in container from HTV to Batam station is about 5 kilometers away, and the train will take your container straight away to Port Klang. So these are things that we are putting in. Yeah. Okay, that's about it. But before I end my presentation, I will show another video. This video has 2 elements. One, it shows the current situation and condition of HTV. After that, we'll show the future of HTV that we are putting in. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
In AHTV, we are shaping a conducive high-tech city, purpose-built as a model for smart modern living. From autonomous technology to electrification, we are ready for the future. Located in Tanjung Malim, the valley will serve as the focal point for investors eyeing the untapped ASEAN automotive markets. Already home to ASEAN's only true blue OEM, AHTV is now set to be strengthened with new impetus. The master plan is developed by DRB Hycom, anchored by Proton, together with Geely as a global support partner. Establishing a high-tech global R&D center is one of AHTV's main initiatives, bringing R&D capabilities to the next level, focusing on uniquely tropical climate research. In the forefront of automotive testing, AHTV will house a sophisticated tropical climate test track that enables testing of next-generation vehicles. Supporting this endeavor, a research university will be set up, gearing to develop the next generation of engineers. In AHTV, we are shaping a conducive high-tech city, purpose-built as a model for smart modern living. By integrating 5G high-speed connectivity and digital systems, AHTV will be an example of what future cities will become. AHTV will offer unique incentives for the community and investors, making for accelerated growth of the automotive industry in the valley. AHTV, all geared up to drive the Malaysian automotive landscape towards a bright future, domestically and regionally. AHTV, future focused.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, terima kasih Encik Muhammad Khalid for your valuable insights. Now we move on to the next presentation by Perbanan Pembangunan Pertanian Negeri Perak, Perak SADC. The presentation titled Perak SADC for Food Security, Perak Halal Industrial Park, HIP at Lekir, will be delivered by Tuan Haji Yunahis Yahya, CEO of Perak SADC. Please welcome Tuan Haji.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. My name is Yohanis, the combination of my father's and my mother's name. Usually people mistakenly pronounce my name. I think I'm the only name with Yohanis in Malaysia. Yohanis is a lot of people in Indonesia. All right. Okay. SADC for food security. Development of Perak Halal Industrial Park, Lekir, Perak HIP, we call it in short. Okay, before we go to Halal Industrial Park, let me introduce SADC, State Agricultural Development Corporation, who was incorporated in 1973. Now we are in operation in 74. We are 50 years old now. And under the purview of the Ministry of Rural and Regional Development, although our chairman is Chief Minister, Menteri Besar, and our role is to promote agriculture development and agro-based industry, specifically in the state of Perak. Our business activities means our main income from palm oil plantation. We have about 20 to 30,000 hectares of palm oil plantation, and we have only one palm oil mill. And the area that we are involved is in the agriculture activities, vegetables and fruits, aquaculture activities, sturgeon, tilapia, shrimps, freshwater farming, and also in farming activities, poultry, cattle farming, and business ventures with entrepreneurs and industry players. We have 20 minutes, so I must make sure 20 minutes is finished. The key objective of Perak SDC 5 years plan is to make sure SDC net tangible assets. And now we have strong with about 2.1 billion worth of NTA, and we are targeting to move to 4 billion NTA by 2024-2025. So our focus and enhancements of Perak SDC key assets value are 5 JV and investments. Number 2 is fund reserve. Number 3 is minerals. Number 4, land. And the 5th one is subsidiaries. So our Perak Halal Industrial Park, Perak HIPS, is within our 5 years plan. That is the repurpose of land. Most of our lands, 50,000 hectares of land is on agriculture. So we are looking like SAMDAB or like KLK of converting some of the agricultural lands into industrial area that is related to food security. So Perak Halal Industrial Park is within the repurpose of land, which is located in Lekeh, and we are also the owner of the REE, rare earth element, the only rare earth element industrial land in Perak and in Malaysia. This is financial snapshot of SDC. We believe that having a strong GSE will spur the economy of Perak. So we are currently with an income of 755 million a year, a net profit of 141 million a year or so, and fund reserve we have 707 million in cash. We are also have a net asset of 2.1 billion and gearing ratio very low, 0.16. Now we are moving to Malaysian National Agro Food Policy 2021 to 2030 is to increase country's self-sufficiency ratio, SSR. We have rise from 2019, our rate is 63%, and we are targeting 35%. Fruits 78% to 80%. Vegetables from 44% to 70%. Seafood from 93% to 95%, and beefs. We call it rates because this is the target of Halal Industrial Park in Lekeh. From 20, the percentage is very low. We are consume local beef, which is quite low, 22.3%, and we are targeting to 50%. And chickens, we are much more than enough for our consumptions. And we are exporting chicken and duck meats to overseas, especially to Singapore and Europe. And we are also have enough consumptions for chicken and ducks, eggs as well. And we are targeting to have 100% sufficient commodities for fresh meat. Okay. Our involvement in food security. There are about 3,750 hectares of Perak SDC land across Perak. And they are developed with agriculture activities involving 330 agropreneurs. We're also joking with Dr. Reza always on this land. Yeah? They kata, if you go to Kedah, You throw a stone, you find a land with people ada hak milik, you know. Ini DO and YDP Perak, Tanjung Malim and apa ni, Majung ada sini. But in Perak, if you throw a stone, there will be a squatters everywhere. You see, so Perak ni very sangat, they are very hardworking people. If they say land, if they see lands, they make sure they are cultivated. No lands is empty. Untuk Cik Khalid is very lucky. Tak ada squatters in Tanjung Malim. But if you go to Ipoh, if you go to Manjung, you know, everywhere is squatters. So that's why in our case, in the SDC case, people see us and they said, you have a lot of lands. Before we agree to that, we are saying the state give us the land SDC when there are squatters that the states don't know how to handle. So agencies have to handle all the squatters, and our friend Dato' Reza have a very good experience with the squatters, how to handle them. So they are. So we have a livestock with 350 hectares, aquaculture, agriculture with 2,380 hectares, vegetables with 520 hectares, and fruits with 320 hectares. These are some of the highlights of commercial JV between private entity with SADC. We have Tripia Sdn Bhd. This is JV with Genoma AS, a company from Norway. They are using this technology to cultivate tilapia fish farms, and their revenue is about 30 million a year, 30.76 million. And we have a joint venture with local company, SBH Marine Industry Sdn Bhd. This is in Krian. We are giving them 150 acres, and they do marvelous with this 150 acres, and they are producing tiger prawn. Some of the tiger prawn they are exporting to France. So their revenue is 20.69 million. They are going to the East market, should be end of the year or beginning of next year, right? This is one of the success story of local farm that we produce. The third one is we have a shares in MFM, Ayam Dinding. We capitalize the assets, the land, and we have single majority highest shareholders in MFM. Now their income is about 2.9 billion a year. And the fourth one is Eurofresh Sdn Bhd, also a local firm. They are importing meat and seafood, also meat imported from Australia and India, and also imported seafoods and salmon from Chile and Alaska. Also, this company also focusing on local beef now. The local sales is about 111 million a year. And the fifth one is Agroto Business Mission Sdn Bhd, also a local firm. They are producing vegetables in highland. Just before Cameron Highland, we have a piece of land about 2,500 acres. We are joint venture with Agroto Business Mission Sdn Bhd, and their sales is about 59.3 million a year. Okay, now is our highlight on, I told Dato' Reza, I don't used to have to sell products to the audience like this. SCCC always, people come and see us and they sell their potential to acquire lands from us. So now I'm selling Perak Halal Industrial Park to all of you. Hopefully we can find a quality investor today so that can work together to develop this Halal Industrial Park. Unlike my friend Dato' Reza and Khalid, they have a lot of lands, very big land. This is only 157 acres of land, although they are small, but they are very strategically located just besides WCE. And they are in the district of Manjung, Perak, and side by side with Plaza Toleke, West WCE, as I said. So the location is The industrial park is always about location, location, and location. This park also is about 29 minutes from Lumut Port, and about 2 hours and 30 minutes from Penang Port, and about 2 hours and 30 minutes to Port Klang. What are the activities done so far? Objective of this park is a one-stop center for food processing, focusing on meats. And this is Perak State High Impact Initiatives under Perak Sejahtera 2030 program, just what Dr. Reza has explained before. And there are strategic location with high-tech green facilities. Then will involve upstream, midstream, and downstream processes, and also expected gross development value (GDV) of 1 billion ringgit. And we are expecting our phase of infrastructure development will be completed by 2024 with cost of 100 million. And we are expecting to be fully operational by 2025. And on this piece of land, we are expected to create around 300 to 500 job opportunities. And we are expecting to give some opportunities to contractors also for local contractors as well. And we hope with this initiative, we can increase our self-sufficiency level of meats, which currently at 14.7%. What are things that will be here in Perak Halal Industrial Park? There will be holding yard, there will be abattoir complex, there will be meats processing complex, and there will be a huge cool room and R&D center, feed mill complex, SME complex. We have retail complex, management office, centralized labor quarters. My colleague will explain it furthermore later in the panel session. What are the things that Perak Halal Industrial Park will consist of? What we offer is to have a sigil halal, and also incentive by MIDA and MITI also is very strategically located, and we hope we have signed an agreement MOU with Halal Park, and also we hope that the infra that will be here will be enough for investors to operate immediately. This is the things that has been done. On the 19th of May 2023, land is rezoning from agriculture to industry. On August 2023, we have groundbreaking with and we have MOU signing with Maybank and Agrobank. And in September 2023, we also have MOU signing with SME Bank and HDC. We hope we got Halma status accreditation by end of the year. And October, November, submission of final kebenaran merancang. We hope that Manjung daerah Manjung dapat luluskan for our KM, and we hope by December and February we have submission to relevant authorities for infra development, and by March 2024 we will start first phase of infra development, and by August potential investors can start their first development. In conclusion, we are inviting industrial players and entrepreneurs involved in meats and food industry. So this is very focused industrial park, like Cik Khalid mentioned. They are focused on automotive. We are focusing on meats and foods industry, and also we focus on meats and foods processing players, logistic players, agrotech players, food and beverages entrepreneurs, retail entrepreneurs, researchers, knowledge workers, ecosystem suppliers, and others. Others ni kecil lah, tapi most of them are meats and food processing player to get involved with us in Perak Halal Industrial Park. I think that's about all my presentation. Hopefully by looking at petang punya session, we have a question and answer in the evening. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih Tuan Haji Yohanis. Yohanis for the insightful presentation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we have one last presentation for today, which is from Malaysian Resources Corporation Berhad, MRCB. The presentation is titled Ipoh Raya Integrated Park, a new generation integrated park. This presentation will be delivered by Mr. Kwan Jun Ho, Group CEO of MRCB. Please welcome Mr. Kwan Jun Ho.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished guests, I realize I'm the last presenter, so I'm the only one stopping you guys and lunch. So I'm going to quickly go through the slides and also our development. Okay. First and foremost, a little introduction on MRCB. Like everyone know, you guys are in KL Central. We are the pioneer developer of TOD, and KL Central, the entire master plan of 76 acres actually developed by MRCB. So we are very strong in TOD development, listed in Bursa since 1971. And we have three key pillars, which actually includes property, engineering, construction, and also facilities and parking. Yeah, our presence, we are, of course, in Malaysia, in most of the states in Malaysia, including in Sabah. We're in Australia, we're in Melbourne, also Brisbane, and now we have moved into a foray into Auckland. Okay. Our major shareholders includes KWSP, EPF, Gapuna Group, Entrepreneur, Tabung Haji, and also QUAP. Like I mentioned earlier, our three key pillars, property development, engineering, construction, and environment, and of course, FM and parking. Our property involves key developments are KL Central, Kuasa Central, PJ Central, Penang Central, and Cyberjaya Center. We also own a REIT, whereby we have injected all our prime key assets into the REIT to recycle capital. So, for example, like the Menara Shell in KL Central have actually been injected by MRCB into the REIT. Okay. In terms of construction, I think we are nation builders. We build most of the important infrastructure in the country. For example, the KL Sport Cities, MRT2, the Suk Highway, the Dash Highway, and of course the ongoing LRT3 project connecting Bandar Utama to Johan Setia and Klang. Our ancillary business, the other key is facility management. And of course, car park, we have 17,000 car park base under our management, and we own most of the car park in KL Central and all our TOD development. A very unique business model, where I mentioned the REIT earlier. What we do is actually we build to lease building. We custom make purpose-built office building for our customer. Effectively, we are building exactly what they want, the specification that they need, and after we construct it, they will come in and lease the building for a long-term lease ranging from 15 to 30 years. Right. In fact, this same model has been proven so successful that we actually have done it with MNCs like Shell, Celcom, and of course, Stanchart, which is Menara Scope International. We are taking the same business model and actually replicating it for industrial park. What I mentioned, industrial park, we are currently building a facility for one of our E&E player in Chuping, Perlis. Of course, hopefully the next one will be in Perak. So we actually will fund the whole construction, the capex for the building, excluding machineries, of course, but the land, the approvals, the construction will all be done by MRCB, and the client just literally come in with their stuff and their equipment, right, so that they can function. Eventually, we are changing the OPEX model to CAPEX, whereby we're changing the CAPEX model to OPEX, whereby we will be funding all the CAPEX for the investors. They just need to come in and pay yearly rental for a long-term period. In terms of sustainability, I think everyone is talking about this ESG. These are 5 key goals of sustainability, which includes people, peace, prosperity, planet, and partnership. I'm not going to deal much into it as I'm the last guy here. So I'm just going to quickly switch. Okay, next, I'm going to go to our development in Ipoh Raya Integrated Park. Okay. What Dr. Reza mentioned earlier, location, strategic, accessibility, this is what we're talking about. Wabi also mentioned about the most important highway in Malaysia, the north-south. So our development has all of those, check all of those boxes. We are directly next to a north-south expressway. We are 5 kilometers from Simpang Pulai, 12 kilometers from Sultan Azlan Shah Airport, and of course, we are just 6 kilometers from Gopeng Toll. On the southbound to KL, we have direct puncture access from approval from LM and Plus to directly drive straight into the land from the NSC. In total, we have approximately 850 acres of land. In terms of visions, this is our vision for the industrial park, a well-planned, managed industrial park, of course, incorporating ESG. Our 11 sustainable communities, these are all our sustainable goals, SDGs that we have 4 strategies that we are targeting. Strategy 1, strengthening the industrial corridor within the region. Strategy 2, leverage on regional roads, transportation. Strategy 3, emphasis on green industries with protection of river corridor as linear park. And strategy 4, accommodate the needs of workers within the site. The design expression that we have is actually on the idyllic, innovative, and integrated part. In terms of idyllic, we have GBI, green streets, and activated central park. I think what we realize that rather than to make it a very conventional industrial park, the new industrial park has to be very encompassing. It has to have all life, work and life balance, whereby you need to have facilities, for the industrial park owner and industrial park workers. Right. In terms of innovation, we'll be adopting Industry 4.0, smart management, of course, environmental sustainability. So like I mentioned earlier, we incorporate facilities and an integrated ecosystem into the industrial park. From a planning perspective, we have actually broken it into 6 phases. Of course, phase 1 being the logistic hub. Will be directly next to the rest house, the Simpang Pulai R&R. That will be our first phase. Of course, we follow on by second phase, mostly a managed industrial park and also medium industrial park. We are going to have a training, education and training for TVET as well. Like everyone knows, one of the key success for industrial park, besides location, is also the workers, the availability of resources, right? I think manpower has always been a very important criteria when we speak to MNCs on what are the key criteria they're required before they even decide to invest in a industrial park. The real view of our vision of our logistic hub and our industrial park. Northbound, moving forward, we will also have an interchange for the direct entrance from NSE because we already have an existing approval for the southbound. Now we're going to have northbound as well, approval and interchange. In terms of development area, 51% is actually on 55% is actually on commercial and industrial. We have catered almost 45% for the facilities, the recreational and infrastructure. So it's a very well-balanced industrial park. It's just not the normal conventional industrial park that we have seen. In terms of USP, I think these are the key USP that all investors will look at. Strategic location, excellent accessibility, which I've elaborated many times on our direct puncture through access from a north-south expressway. Well connected to mature township and cities. Connectivity in terms of transportation, superior security features, and also the conducive and eco-friendly environment. The concepts are actually more of a logistic hub, come together with a fulfillment and managed industrial park. But one very key strategic model that we have for our industrial park is, like I mentioned earlier, the build to lease, whereby we can build, cater the requirement of the operator, and we only collect rental over long periods of time. I'll just highlight some of the key concepts for our respective phases. This is in a phase 1, logistic hub. Come together with a fulfillment center with transit facilities. Warehouse interior. This is a warehouse distribution center as well. For phase 2, we will have a gated, we will have our MIP, Managed Industrial Park. That the surveillance systems and the features that we're going to have in our industrial park. Some light industry as well. Yeah. Manufacturing. Aero-based industrial. We are not very far away from Cameron Highlands, and we're very glad that our friend from agriculture side actually have a lot of visions to develop. So maybe we can work on this together as well. Yeah. So, like I said, we need to have a supportive features, facilities, retail, business support, commercials. We're also going to provide accommodation. I think CLQ is very important based on the latest ACTA 446. I think we have to provide CLQ for all the industrial park workers. And of course, I think there will be executives from all the MNCs staying there. So we will also have accommodation for the executive. What I mentioned earlier, we're going to have a TVET center to provide training, especially for whichever investor they are in. We might even collaborate with them so that they can actually provide the machineries that you're currently using in their production factory. Then we can use that machineries to actually train the students so that they can actually get familiarized and be ready to move on to the ecosystem. Facility amenities, childcare, recreational area, multi-purpose, children facilities. These are for all the workers and so that their children are all well taken care of. Outdoor facilities, shuttle services, and of course, we will use district cooling plant. Directly next to our industrial park, we also have a solar plant. So also, in terms of ESG, we are looking also at renewable energy to power our industrial park. More facilities, more pictures. I'm going to quickly go through them. In terms of development program, the rezoning master plan has been approved. We have also gotten our KM approval for phase 1, which is approximately 50 acres, which is a logistic hub. And we are working on the KM approval for the balance 800 acres. It's a video. My presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kwan, for the insightful presentation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate your continued presence in this Perdana Hall and your attentiveness to the presentations session just now. We value your fervent participation in the presentation session that just concluded. We still have a panel discussion and a Q&A session to go. Before we begin with the panel session discussion, may I call upon our four panelists for today to take their place on stage. Please welcome our panelist, Ms. Cheng Soo Bee, Director of Investment Promotion of PKNK, Mr. Muhammad Khalid Yusof, Senior Director of AHTV, and Encik Asrul Azam Muhammad Yusof, Chief Strategy Officer of Perak SADC, and also Mr. Kwan Jun Ho from Group COO of MRCB. I now have the pleasure of introducing our moderator, Yang Berbahagia Dato' Reza Rafi Abdul Razak, the CEO of PKNK. Silakan. PKNK. Gentlemen, I would now like to hand over the stage to Yang Berbahagia Dato' Reza Rafi to begin the discussion and Q&A session. Silakan.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed panelists, distinguished guests, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello again. I must say that it is most humbling to be on stage with such a distinguished panel. Apatah lagi to moderate this session. Our panel today, ladies and gentlemen, represents people from diverse backgrounds, but each with a solid value proposition for potential investors and for potential business partners. This morning, we have heard the members of our panel share on their development initiatives and investment opportunities in the state of Perak. These are exciting times indeed, and with that in mind, I think we should just jump in to the first set of questions for our panel members. I think since I'll be a bit biased, I will ask PKNP first. Okay, Subi, first of all, can you highlight the advantages that the Silver Valley Technology Park, or SVTP, offers to investors looking to establish a presence there?
Thank you, Dato'. I think the advantages most of them have been mentioned by Dato' just now in your earlier presentations, but I will just repeat and add ons. First of all, I think it's very strategically located. The locations, is situated proximately to major cities like Kuala Lumpur and Penang, and it ensures connectivity to key markets and suppliers. I think that's one of the very crucial point for any manufacturers, manufacturing investors. Okay, and of course, it's provide a very easy access to major transportation routes and ports. The Ipoh airports that provide direct flights to Singapore. And from Singapore, you can access to major international markets through Penang Airport, through KIA, to Port Klang, and through Penang Port as well. And of course, the quality of life, I think, well, I just moved from Penang to Ipoh. I always say, every time when people ask me that, have you settled down in Ipoh? Everything okay? I always say I have one very big issue. Okay, I subscribe Spotify. I think some of you know Spotify. I pay 15 ringgit and 90 cents every month. Okay, when I was in Penang, every day when I go to work, I can listen to 8 songs at least. Okay, sometimes I listen to more than 10 songs in the car on my way to work. But now when I'm in Ipoh, I can only listen to 1 song. Sometimes lagu tak habis, I sudah sampai office lah. And my problem is always whether to get out the car, to wait for the songs to finish or not. I said, I lugi. Okay. That is how the quality of life I have in Ipoh. Okay. And of course, another thing, one of the advantages of investing in SVTP is SVTP, I think we have appointed Perak Corporations to be the agency to develop the technology park, and they provide a various package for the investors, including the build to lease, build to lease and sell, build to suit, lease, or build to suit and sell. Okay, this actually help many investors to reduce their initial costs. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now, next I will jump to Asrul. Asrul, yeah, we witnessed the launch recently. I was very excited. Can you highlight why the Perak Halal Industrial Park or Perak HIP is the place to take the halal industry to the next level?
Thank you, Dato'. First of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Basically, Perak Halal Industrial Park, as you know, we are trying to integrate all the activities from the upstream down to downstreams. Basically, the objective of the HIP first is for our food security. And of course, sustainability in our mind, which also gazetted in Perak Sejahtera 2030. The second one is we want to leverage halal, which is, we know, halal is already have world recognition. And on top of that, you know, halal is actually just involved in process or we want to do a plan, for example, but what we're trying to do here is to have the whole ecosystem with halal in mind. For example, the logistic part of it, or the financing part of it. So this is where we're trying to have all what we call halal ecosystem in our projects, and also. Just now, I think Wabilo and Tuan Haji already highlight about the SSR. Obviously, we are a producer, a state of agriculture. So most of our agriculture product, we either state or export outside. So what we try to do is to value add the product. So instead of the products goes just in terms of raw, we want to value add the product. So we knew that, for example, in Lekki, Manjung, the poultry industry is one of the main industry in Manjung around Lekki, and also meat of the beef. So we're thinking of to what we call capitalize the supply chains that we have surrounding the area. So there is actually one we want to value add the product especially for poultry and beef. The last one is our objective is to spur food and agro-based industry, basically surrounding the area. This might be our small project, is only 150 acres, but this is kind of it is very specific. Basically, it's very specific. So we're dealing with we start with the poultry and beef first, and then we will expand it maybe to vegetable or aquaculture product. So we have 4 pillars of the parks. One is a green and smart park. That's what we're trying to do. It includes the buildings. Building also is a green building. Infra also a green infra. In fact, we're trying to integrate also with the Tanjung Malim. Needs to use the automotive with the green base. So that will be our first priority. Second one is more on R4.0. This also to address agriculture, or a new way of doing business in agriculture. So actually, we're trying to adopt like automation with precision farming, IoT, big data, and other things also. The third one is the base is circular economy. This is what I mean. Agriculture is easy to adopt this concept in terms of circular economy because basically all the waste can be used again or can generate a product. And the last one is the ESG base. So I think all the four and our objective is basically to make our part on how we leveraging our to the next level. I mean, this is not different, but I think is a new way of doing business. I think all industries touch the same thing. So we also agriculture try to implement that one. So
Right, thank you. Jumbo, I think I saw the presentation and it was most insightful. Can you reaffirm and share with us the infrastructure and logistics advantages? I mean, being just adjacent to the North-South Expressway, that is the main artery for Peninsular Malaysia. And not to mention also, I think your approach on the having an overall living environment that Ipoh Raya will offer to investors. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
I think the new generation of industrial park, like I shared earlier, it's all about accessibility and livability. So when you talk about accessibility, I think the connection to the rural roads, even the highways are very important, which I think thank God we have that. We are lucky enough that our land is directly just next to the highway. And of course, most importantly is how do you actually bring that accessibility to your land then. And of course, with all the blessings that we actually have approvals from both PLUS and also LIM to allow direct accessibility into the land. I think that is a key point for all kind of development to work, regardless it's commercial, industrial. I think the location and also accessibility is one of the key driving factor. So, and like I said, a new generation of industrial park. What do I mean by new generation? The conventional one, we will just probably see a lot of factory outlets, a lot of factory set up. They just build and hoping that industry will come. The different model that we are embarking on now is actually we are talking about custom built industrial park. We are talking, of course, through the help of our MIDA Invest Perak. We are talking to investors, MNCs from the States, from the EU, on actually building their state-of-the-art facility in Malaysia. And I'm talking about billions of investment in USD, billions, to build a huge, easily like a plant size of about 200 acres, right? Just a huge plan for them. So this is, but these MNCs, they have their requirements. So they will touch about ESG. They have their ESG requirements. One of the MNCs I discussed with, they're actually asking for water requirement of 15 million gallon a day. 15 million gallon a day. I was like, this is more than an entire township, and this is only for one guy, right? Just one MNC. So this is how extreme it is, and a lot of future planning when it incorporates ESG. They also talk about wastewater, right? Because these especially American companies, they have very high levels of ESG, whereby they need to recycle their wastewaters. So all this come into picture, and of course, they also wanted an environment whereby when they move in, the supply chain can come in. The whole supply chain, effectively they're creating an ecosystem, but they also need the ecosystem to have a livable environment, whereby they need to have schools. We were talking about international schools, right? As far as that, they were talking about facilities. Where do they go makan for their weekend dinner? Where they take their children to play? So all this actually have to be incorporated on top of just the location I mentioned. In fact, we are looking at the new generation of industrial park.
Right, thank you. Now, Cik Khalid. Khalid, can you ada two sets of questions in your case, because yours is like the biggest. Okay. Satu, could you provide us with some insights on this phenomenon called the Automotive High-Tech Valley, or AHTV, and the value it will provide to potential investors? And secondly, there's a question here yang I pun tersenyum juga. Is Geely really coming to AHTV to set up the assembly plant?
Okay, let me answer the first question first. Phenomenon of this HTV, what you read, what you listened over the last few months or so, is actually is through hard labor over the last 3 to 4 years. We started promoting about HTV to the government way back in 2019, just before the pandemic starts. And the whole thing that we as what I presented just now, the whole thing that we presented to the government was to make Malaysia a major hub for automotive, and we need to get back what we missed over the last 5 to 10 years, where all the big OEMs bypassed through Malaysia and to Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. So we on that part, we mentioned the government, since we have this big facility in Tanjung Malim, that is currently the catalyst for Tanjung Malim district anyway. We are the biggest employer in the district, for your information. We are the biggest taxpayer. We mentioned to the government that since we have this spot on there and we are moving from Shah Alam to Tanjung Malim, why don't we make it big? And of course, to advise investors to HTV is not an easy task. What we did was, we also proposed to the government a lot of incentive for the players to come in. For your information, this HTV is the only place now in Peninsular Malaysia or in Malaysia where the government accorded a 15 years tax-free. 15 years straight away tax-free. However, your investment must be more than 500 million. So these are things that the government is really listening to what we plan for. And of course, there are a set of criteria. If you go to the list on the MIDA website, you can see the list of promoter sectors. And we have also promoter sectors that we want them to come in. It's not like any other company linked to automotive that we want them to come in, basically. We want them to have a technology background, high-tech background, and if you can have it from overseas, it is most welcome. Yeah, so this is our way to attract investors. What was your second question, Datuk? Huh? Oh, Chile, okay. Okay, Chile is actually, they came because they are 49% stakeholders of Proton now. So whatever you see in Proton now is actually 49 came from Chile. And over the last 6 years, when they came in 2017, late 2017, they bought over 49% stake. Jointly, Chile and DRB Highcom through Proton invested more than close to about 3 billion ringgit, yeah, from 2017. And going forward, there's few more billions. So these are things that maybe perception or understanding is quite different from what the market understood. But again, yes, they are coming in, they invested through Proton, and they are also bringing in their supply chain, and the high-tech company to be with us in HTV simply because this is one fact, simply because the automotive sector, as I presented just now, is migrating from ICE to electric. So in Malaysia, we don't have that many vendors that can accommodate electric components and vehicle small components. So some that are contributing also.
I think that's a very insightful response, Khalid. Okay, now there are some other questions. I think these two, I think I can answer. Satu, they ask, what is the first investor company that's most immediately start into Silver Valley Technology Park? Actually, they're doing the earthworks at the moment. I think you saw in the slide, is Jinjing. It's a China company. They are a glass supplier for First Solar panels in Kulim. They have a plant that produces glass in Kulim, and we are doing the midstream and downstream processing of the materials that they do, that they use for the glass products. Okay. Next question, I think this one I'll pass this to Junho because I think he has the widest range on this. Depa tanya, build to suit ni for industrial only or can it be for office space, you know?
I think in my slides, I actually said that MRCB started a build to suit for our office building first. We started off with Shell, Central, and of course, Celcom DG. So the answer is yes, we do offices as well. Of course, now we are using the same business model, replicating the successful business model and putting in industrial. But yes, we are definitely interested if you have any office tower that you guys want to build, custom build, you guys want to change the model from CAPEX to OPEX so that the MRC investing to build for you guys. Yes, we are very interested.
The days, ladies and gentlemen, the days of kita bagi tanah, kita jual tanah and leave it there. I think benda tu zaman 80s, 90s lah. Now I think we're looking at giving value added to the investors. We're looking at lower cost of entry into the state of Perak. So this is a new way of doing things. And I think all the growth nodes that you have seen today actually provide these range of offerings. Okay, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, a major advantage of these development nodes that you've seen on the screen today is that they provide satu, an institutional framework. Number two, a different level of physical infrastructure, and a range of support services, a range of facilities and amenities in order to offer real value to potential investors and potential business partners. Now, at this day and age, we note that investors are looking into the essential elements of sustainability and corporate responsibility. And the consideration placed on things like ESG, for example, has become increasingly crucial because the shareholders of these investors actually place great value on this. And this has become increasingly crucial for investors from various industries when they choose an investment location. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just this is not just a buzzword, but it is a significant driver for their growth agenda, for responsible growth and development of these companies or these investors. So I'd like to direct our attention to the next aspect of today's discussion. How do our panelists incorporate the ESG elements into their projects? Again, bias lah sikit kan. For PKMP, Subi, in what ways have you incorporated sustainability and environmental responsibility into the design and development of the Silver Valley Technology Park? Boleh cerita sikit tak?
Thank you, Dato'. So I think incorporating ESG principles into the design and development of SVTP is very crucial, as it will not only benefits the environment, but also enhance the parts appeal to responsible investors and tenants who value sustainability and social responsibility. And how we can achieve it, like from the design, we can look at implementing eco-friendly design practices, such as optimizing the building orientations for natural lighting and ventilation, utilize green building materials and energy efficient technologies, okay, in constructions. Okay, when it comes to the energy efficiency, through we will encourage and mandate energy efficiency infrastructure and operations for our tenants companies. And we also encourage our investor to adopt a sustainable waste management practice. And most importantly is we have to ensure that all our investors strictly adherence to environmental regulations and provide incentive for companies that go beyond compliance.
Thank you. I think that's opened our eyes a bit on the situation and the position of Perak. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, Just to add on an answer to this next question about Perak's agenda with regard to transition to renewable energy. Under Perak Sejahtera 2030, we have a plan called Perak Lestari 2030. And the Perak Lestari 2030 plan has laid out a few key components that can serve as a guide, as a path to achieve the direction that we are setting ourselves on with regard to Perak Sejahtera 2030. We're talking about setting up clear opportunities and benefits in targeted sectors, key strategies, and they have 40 project proposals across 9 sectors, and there are 10 high impact projects, which I think we will be making announcements on this in due course. So my next question is, of course, to Cik Khalid, of course. In the automotive sector, what steps have you taken to reduce the carbon footprint of your products that come out of AHTV nanti? I think, and also foster social and ethical governance within the company. And second is, and what specific strategies or technologies will be employed by AHTV in order to promote sustainability and corporate responsibility?
Okay, you always give me long questions. Okay, let me address the first one. You said about what is come again?
Yeah. First one, what steps have you taken to reduce the carbon footprint of your products?
Right.
Yeah.
One question at a time. Okay. So we have to take as what mentioned about ESG, but understand ESG is not environment. It's actually for environment as for social and G for governance. So for us to of course because of current situation. These are part of so what set a new benchmark where because they are it's one of the because actually comes so that's why should be mentioned so comes that's why we are using the sort of generate that's one indication. Also is organization every department of their own photocopy machine. So every department share one photocopy. And every department has their own KPI to manage links that they think monthly. So these are things that we put in to protect as well without having the EV cars yet. What was your second question, Dato'?
Okay, actually, that was quite impressive. Second question is the technologies that you're going to use to actually embark on this journey.
Okay, as the team goes by, HDV is for next generation vehicle.
Yep.
We are pushing hard for this. Our energy in China was about 6 brands of EV cars. 6 brands, not 6 models, 6 brands of EV car investing. So that's why we are trying to get this yes, as soon as possible. And also encourage other OEMs or component makers who want to join the HDV and have this element as well.
Right, thank you. I think that's a good insight. Why I'm asking this is because this is a very popular topic among companies that want to come into a particular location. And okay, on that note, I would like to ask SADC in terms of the context of agriculture. This is a different ballgame. How would you balance the need for food security and increased productivity with the things like responsible land use, conservation, and of course the well-being of surrounding communities?
Actually, Aku tadi ada explain a bit about how we want to address, to increase productivity, responsible of land use, conservation, well-being of local communities. Basically, when we're talking about food security, this is a need first to address our food sustainability. So that was in our mind. But back of the four pillars just now I have mentioned, this is on the green concept. So on smart park. So basically that would be optimum use of our land, and also some like smart farming. Precision farming also part of the ideas how to optimize our land use. The other is the use of element IR 4.0, which is using the IoT automation, big data, circular economy, and also ESG. Basically, that would be the Nila.
Right, thank you. I think that's a good perspective from the agriculture on your side, because it adds value from a different perspective. Now, for Vivo, I've seen you guys build LEED Gold buildings and all that. And how will your new industrial initiative integrate from an industrial perspective the ESG principles into the design, into the development, and into the operations? Because operations, I see the proximity to the roads means that there will definitely be a huge logistics element. So,
okay, I think like every other development, like I mentioned earlier, be it commercial or be it industrial, I think the concept is the same. When we envision a development, when we started a development, it comes from a planning, and all this ESG is actually to be incorporated during the planning stage, at the inception. It's very hard to do it as an afterthought, because afterthought, then you have to start amending this, you have to start tweaking here and there. It doesn't work. So I think from the very principle of ESG is that everything has to be done from the very conceptual planning stage. So all this has to be incorporated from the beginnings to ensure that all these are being as a master plan in the master print, right, of the development. Secondly, I think on the operation side, or even the users or industrial investors, most of these MNCs, they actually have very strict ESG requirement. In fact, I've seen some who are actually even more detailed than our DOE requirement. They're even like three years higher, right? Yeah. So we have seen a lot of this very strict compliance. And of course, one good thing, if you have actually planned it from the very inception, we can actually incorporate all this in rather than changing it last minute.
Right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe all our speakers have not only provided us with valuable information regarding the growth notes that we have presented today. And as we delve deeper into the discussion on these initiatives, there is a need to also look at the significant impact, I would say, that these growth nodes would have on the local communities, because the success of these initiatives will definitely go hand in hand with the ability to generate opportunities for those who call Perak home, especially in terms of things like placemaking, in terms of the creation of job opportunities, in terms of the creation of business opportunities. So it's essential to understand how our panelists envision the participation of our local communities and the participation of the businesses there, the local business communities in their respective endeavors. So on that note, for the Perak State Agriculture Development Corporation, so in the context of agriculture development as well, how can local farmers, cooperatives, and small businesses be integrated or be part of it? How can they partake in this excellent initiative? And what will be the advantages that this excellent initiative can bring to the local agriculture communities and people surrounding the area doing agriculture?
Sure, Dato'. Basically, ACDC, we have kind of three method when we embark on certain projects. First, we do it ourselves. That's only on palm oil business. And now we just embark on durian business. That's the only two ACDC doing themselves. This merely to fund our food security program other than these two. Number two is we collaborate, we funding, we develop entrepreneur development. We have a program called under the entrepreneur development, which we support in terms of soft loan, grants, training. This more on, we targeted on a micro group of entrepreneur. Then the third one, we have a JV, what we call a JV program. Basically, this will be our equity participation into the company. Is more on an active role of ourselves into the business. Kind of like what Datuk said, we are hand in hand with the entrepreneur to develop the entrepreneur. So what we have in Halal Industrial Park basically is we trying to create a whole ecosystem for the poultry or beef industries, basically until to the consumer market. So by having before we move into consumer market, we need to what we call secure our supply. This is where the industrial park is to do. So that under this project, with our program, Usahawan and Entrepreneur, they will bring in, a different, what we call a different partnership with the industries, cooperative and the surrounding farmers.
Thank you, Basrul. Joe, in terms of construction, in terms of ongoing operations that come after construction, what would be the steps? Would there be any steps taken by MRCB to actually bring the local communities or the local participants, local players to be involved to ensure that the economic prosperity is generated to the surrounding areas?
Definitely, Dato'. I think one thing I think we learn is that when you do any type of development, right, the most important thing is your local community. I think we have to respect them. A lot of times, a lot of engagement are done. Like I say, these are all done not even after construction. It's actually in fact done during planning stage before you even start hitting the ground, do anything. You engage with a local authority, local community to understand what is the gaps they have. And if they're concerned, for example, there are situations, say there's a small tempat here they used to pray like a shrine, you know, but it doesn't look like Kuala, right? But we know that, oh, we respect that, so we know that, okay, this area don't sentuh, don't touch. So these are some are sensitive, but it's effectively caring with a community. And of course, we also have a yayasan. Our yayasan motto is actually we will serve the community around us. For example, I think we have children a lot in our heart. So during back to school programs or even during all these festivities, I think we have donations and also programs for the schools and the children surrounding our development. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Khalid, I think in the automotive industry, we have seen a lot of what you guys have done in terms of contribution, outreach to get people in the surrounding areas to be in the job market, to engage with local communities, to engage with the vendors. Can you share with us today in terms of how you're going to take this to the next level in AHTV?
Okay, for community, I think obviously we have to categorize the community, which is our workers. The second one is our ecosystem community, which is the vendor. For the vendors, we talk about vendors first. Encourage as what I presented, we encourage our vendors, the foreign supplier, simply because they have latest technology, they are producing much more efficient product. So that's why the slide said, some of the slides that I showed we are also building the vendors community to have a shape consistently some of sheet as much as possible. So far, we've done close to 42 collaboration, you know, over the last 6 years. Because we believe that those are capable, cost efficient, system. That's one of the factors. We have 3,500 workers. 55% of them are. So, states in Malaysia. So that is part of our effort. So 54% of Perak.
And for that, we thank you. Welcome, bro. Okay. Sumi, how do you foresee the local communities surrounding the Silver Valley Technology Park benefiting from the initiative you are overseeing? And how do you do things to ensure that the developments are inclusive and are supportive of the region's residents and the industrial ecosystem there?
Okay, so thank you, Dato. I think one of the benefit we will see, the local community will see by having projects like the SVTP, will lead to also improve infrastructure, okay, in the surrounding areas, such as the better roads, okay, utilities, public services, and then this will not only benefit the park, but also the local community, I would say. Okay, another one is the property value will be increased surrounding the industrial park. And yeah, we also will look at this cultural and social exchange. Okay, because the park also facilitate culture and this exchange between the employees and the local communities. Okay, to promote in promoting understanding and cohesion.
All right, thank you. Now, before we end, ladies and gentlemen, there is this question that's been creeping up the ranks because I have the questions that you've been asking. Could you please share more information regarding tax benefits? I will touch on this for a bit, and then I will pass to Subi because she handles this. Okay, I think the state of Perak is covered under the Northern Corridor Economic Region. And it also covers, it also involves activity-based value propositions for that will entitle businesses or investors to the federal government tax incentives and non-tax incentives supervised by MIDA. And we have a tiered system where at the top you have this category called high impact projects, where these high impact projects will be accorded a different level of consideration by the federal government and the state government. So, Subi, you want to add anything?
I think we offer various type of incentives like what Dato has mentioned just now. So, I'll say from the state first, so state we have discount on the land premium, industrial land lease up to 99 years, and so on. Okay, from the federal side, of course, from MIDA or NCR area, up to 100% income tax pioneer status for up to 15 years, or the investment tax, ITA, again, up to 100% allowance for up to 10 years. And on top of that, we also have this, what we call NCIA Talents Enhancement Program, NTAP, okay, which they subsidize salary for the new hire, for the fresh graduate of 1,000 ringgit or 50% salary per pax for 12 months. And another one is also under the NCIA technology incentive, and innovations incentive. They have few programs, and one of that is called ATMP, Advanced Technology Master Program, okay, where they give reimbursement of the cost when the company provide training through your staff, up to 6,000 per pax, and allowance of 600 per pax for 6 months. They have a center of excellence programs that provide special training on when you see we are encouraging high tech investment. Okay, so this certain investor really requires special skills for their employee, which is not available in Malaysia. Okay, so they need to provide special training to this employee, and there is such tax that we will provide up to 25,000 ringgit per project for the trainings. I think if you want more information, later you can go to the NCR's booth, the other side.
Right. So, distinguished panelists, I think we've reached the end of the session. Thank you so much for sharing. Sorry if I asked rather complicated questions. And I think Subi, after you mentioned that, I think you didn't just get the audience excited, you got the four of us excited also lah. Okay, with that, sekian terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Datuk. Once again, thank you everyone for for a successful and engaging discussion. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed for the networking lunch, I would like to make a few announcements. Don't forget to complete the evaluation form, which we place on each and everyone's seat. Return the evaluation form on your way out to the networking lunch, and you may claim your door gift later. The Perak State Government has opened their booth at the lobby area and also banquet hall. So if you have any queries pertaining to your interest to invest in Perak, you can direct your queries to the on-duty office at the booth stations. So please do visit the booth. So all presentation slides can be downloaded at MIDA website, www.mida.gov.my. On behalf of MIDA and Perak State Government, once again, thank you for gracing our ceremony with your presence. We greatly appreciate your attendance, continued support, and participation throughout the auspicious MIDA Invest Series Perak. We sincerely hope that today's event has been a useful and fruitful event for you. We have come to the end of our event for today, and I would like to invite all of our guests for networking luncheon at the common area at the banquet hall. My name is Khairul Amir, signing off for today. And with that, thank you and have a nice and productive day. Thank you.